Hi everyone, Chrissy here again at A Little Glam, A Lot of Mom, and happy autumn to any one of our friends in the Northern Hemisphere. In today's video, I'm sharing our homeschool plans for the autumn season. I've also got a small haul to share of books and supplies I've picked up for our fall studies, and so I think we'll start with that. Maybe a story about the endless potential in all of us. Not a book about the season, but the illustrations are cozy and for me capture the essence of fall beauty. The best, however, is the message of this book, words that need to be spoken into our children's hearts and also our own. A book for everyone, in my opinion. When Green Becomes Tomatoes, Poems for All Seasons, a poetry book inspired by the seasons. I love that there are dates to these poems and several for each season of the year, so we get to see the cycle of the year through short poems for my little ones and lovely illustrations. Winged Wonders, Solving the Monarch Migration Mystery. For hundreds of years, people who live in southern Canada through the middle of the US and all the way to central Mexico observed a wondrous phenomenon. In 1976, the answer was revealed, but who made this groundbreaking discovery? The Canadian scientists who tracked the butterflies for decades, or the thousands of volunteers who tagged insects on their trek? Or maybe it was the villagers in Mexico who welcomed the butterflies into their mountain home. In this story, we discover how working together can achieve incredible results. Sonia's Chicken by one of our favorite authors, Phoebe Wall. Sonia is a little girl who raises her 3 chickens from chicks to hens, and one night she hears a noise coming from the coop and discovers one of her hens is missing. This is a gentle story about love, loss, and the circle of life. DK's humongous fungus, packed with facts, fun scenes, and layouts to learn about the fungi kingdom. Included topics are the fungus kingdom, the greening of the earth, nature's helpers, a spore's journey, growing mushrooms, how does a fungus feed, fungus wars, mushroom forests, sac fungi, edible or poisonous, fairy tale fungi, bright, dark, or glowing, plant partners, plant killers, fungal food, eco-friendly fungi, animal friends, animal killers, mushroom mind control, inside us, and medicine makers, just to name a few. This is a super fun book with just all these engaging layouts and pages and snippets of information, and just a great spine for the study of the fungi kingdom. Favorite field guide is the National Audubon Society, and this is a field guide to mushrooms. Over 700 photographs accompanied by a physical description, info on edibility, season, habitat range, lookalikes, alternative names, uses, and even folklore. But my favorite thing about these Audubon field guides is that it's organized visually by color and shape, making it a friendly guide for referencing. And we're just so happy to add another one of these field guides to our collection. DK Smithsonian Maker Lab Indoor and Outdoors. Build, invent, and create 41 cool projects. I bought this specifically for my Bella, who enjoys books like this. She's able to independently follow project and experiments, and then she brings in her younger siblings as well. So I thought I'd add a new one to our shelf for her rotation. Some of the contents included in the projects are categories in food for thought, around the home, water world, the great outdoors, nature watch, world of weather, and water power. When I'm looking for an experiment or project book like this, I'm usually looking through the supply list, and that it's projects that don't require out of the usual or too many out of the usual supplies. For example, this activity on invisible ink, the experiment in this is pure lemon juice. So all you need is a cutting board, white paper, a small bowl, knife, lemon, cotton swab, and an oven mitt. The Science Spellbook Magical Experiments for Kids, written by mom and biochemist Kara Florence. This book is a fun way to engage kids while teaching them about physics, biology, chemistry, and more. So I'll admit that we don't encourage the ideas and try to guide our kids through concepts like spells, witchcraft, sorcery, and magic, just out of guarding their spiritual beings. But after skimming the book, these mentions don't go very much past the titles of the projects. We also use such books, movies, and popular fads to put such elements into a Christian context and teach my kids that these elements are mentioned in the Bible and forbidden, and why. I feel like these lessons of good from evil will grow their ability to discern good from evil, and as Christians tackle the culture with confidence. So that's my 2 cents on that. But besides some of the verbiage in the titles, I love this idea of combining science and nature. This resource is unique. I can't wait to dive into this. Cozy season is also handicraft season for us, and this year we want to learn more about weaving and embroidery, so I picked up some supplies, but first let's start with the books, of course. Beginning in October, as a family, we are reading and learning more stories about our Latino heritage. I have a huge book stack of Latino heritage books I want to share with you all, and I will do that in my next video, so look out for that. For now, here's a sneak peek of one of our new books. This is Abuela's Weave, and this is a book about the relationship of a girl and her grandma, Abuela, and the depiction of life in Mayan villages. I love the cultural sightings in this book, the dresses, the houses, patterns on the weaving. This is also going to open a great discussion on the cultural connections of weaving and serve as an opening activity to weaving. Paint with Thread, a step-by-step guide to a method of embroidery called needle painting through the seasons. I bought this as a birthday gift for my teen so that we can work on it together. Inspired by nature, the artist and author created 5 patterns for this book. Each design has 60 detailed step-by-step photos. I love how the artist shows every step or stage of the process. The artist also shares her techniques, suggested materials, and full tutorials of the stitches needed for these patterns. And then the transferring design patterns are available towards the back of the book. A few of the other supplies we picked up is cotton monk's cloth for embroidery, these beautiful jewel tones of embroidery thread, and a wooden thread organizer with a needle magnet in the middle and embroidery scissors with a beautiful crane design. Over the next year, I am hosting a small nature study group or class with a group full of homeschool friends, and so I picked up 3 of these spiral-bound multimedia paper sketch pads for the kids to use as nature journals for that group. I actually can't link these because I found these at a local store. However, these I found on Amazon. My teen asked for new composition notebooks and chose these by Paperage. We might take a few for a vocabulary notebooking I want to implement into our studies this season. Alright, now that we got done with the haul, let's get into my autumn binder. This year I've been sharing my seasonal binders. I've already shared a spring and summer video. If you're not familiar, in my seasonal binders, I store and organize all the printables we'll use for the season. So I'll link that playlist down below. I'm removing and swapping out some of the resources we used last year. And if you don't know about Hearth Magic, I'm part of the VIP membership, and members get access to every set in the Etsy shop, so most of my printables are made by Amber at Hearth Magic. Amber released a new autumn equinox set. The theme is seeking balance, and I just love that. So I printed off a copy and put it in here for this season. Amber included a brief explanation about the guide, encouraging different ways to celebrate. I love that she included this meditative or self-reflective prompt for the parent as well. We completed these yoga poses during the autumn equinox and the kids had a blast. We love movement through our day, so I'm happy she included that. There's also information on the apple, which is the symbol of the equinox and the second harvest. To go with that, there's apple themed circle time that includes a few songs and a story. There's always crafts or handicrafts included in her guide. So here we have making autumn crowns and making a wool felt hanging. She also always includes several book recommendations for the season and this fun scavenger hunt that we also started the other day. I printed 2 mini storybook guides for the season, although I think we'll only get to 1 this year. Fletcher and the Falling Leaves. The guides include activities, discussion questions, storytelling puppets, recipes, anatomy of a leaf in this one, and coloring pages. The second guide is Over the River and Through the Woods. Several recipes, 5 craft suggestions, copywork, memory game, counting clip cards, writing clip cards as well. I also keep all of the seasonal coloring pages that at Hearth Magic offers, and the kids really enjoy these during read-alouds, so I just print them and store them in the binder ready to access at any point. In October, we're also studying more about the Monarch migration. I have a few books here and a mini nature study guide by Little World Wanderers. There are book recommendations, info on their migration, the life cycle, and anatomy of a monarch, craft activity tutorials, and there's also a little snippet here about the cultural symbol that the monarchs are in Dia de los Muertos in the culture in Mexico. And so that weaves in perfectly with our Latino heritage studies. And I've already mentioned we're reading Winged Wonders and Migration, Incredible Animal Journeys. I've shared this title already, and this book features other animals as well, but there is a beautiful feature of the monarch migration that we'll be referencing to. And Butterflies Belong Here, a story of one idea, 30 kids, and a world of butterflies. Not only do I love the message of advocacy and conservation in this book, but this story also gently touches on the topic of immigration. Another nature study this season is all about the fungi kingdom. I'm piecing this study together with a stack of books, of course. Our goals are simple with this study. We're going to learn how to identify 10 types of fungi, identify poison versus edible, and learn how to forage fungi. Topics within the study are fungi anatomy, edible versus poison, fungi diversity, mycology and the history in the field, and fungi in the ecosystem. Some of the projects I've planned are earning the fungi badge towards our Naturalist Family Badge project. I'm going to make a separate video for our family badge project explaining the concept and ideas behind earning each badge and the inspiration behind handcrafting the badges. But I did create a short that I posted here on YouTube and on Instagram, so go watch that for now. Some other projects are making some spore prints for our nature journals. I think that would be super fun. And drying mushrooms, similar to drying flowers. Making pouches for collecting nature items. And I've already mentioned foraging, and with that, cooking a new mushroom recipe. We'll also implement some work in field observations, dissections, and microscope observations, nature journaling, and vocabulary words using the glossary of the DK Humongous Fungus book. We'll be referencing to the National Audubon Society to identify 10 types of fungi to earn our fungi badge. Nature Anatomy by Julia Rothman features information on the anatomy and life cycle, different types of mushrooms, and the recipe we'll try after foraging. And DK Humongous Fungus. To be honest, this has all the information we would need to build a study. So I've tapped off a few of the pages on edible versus poisonous, medicine makers, and the pages that relate to fungi in our ecosystem. As I mentioned, we'll also be utilizing the glossary for vocabulary journaling, although I'm still not sure that this is the notebook that we'll be utilizing. And of course, we'll be utilizing the beautiful Fungarium in the Welcome to the Museum series. I'm interested in reading the gallery on fungi biology, ecosystems, and of course, this is sure to inspire some of our nature journal entries. Several years ago, I created a really simple preschool pack on mushrooms, so I've reprinted them for my Luna to use this time around. Here we have a visual discrimination cards. Luna is to mark which one is different in the square of 4 images. I've also created some cutting strips to practice scissor work and work those hand muscles, and a few worksheets like anatomy for language development, letter identification, spot it, and tracing pages. Now we're moving into our plans towards the late of November. We'll be covering a short study on farm life per the request of my littles. So the goals for this study are simple, just to learn about farm chicken life and the farm sheep life. We'll also be learning a few different cooking methods and recipes, and focusing in grammar and math. So the topics that correlate with our goals are chickenology, sheep and fiber arts, and cooking. Our projects will be learning how to can, bread making, a grammar farm, and learning knots to gain another family badge on this life skill. We'll also have vocabulary work and implement drawing for my littles who have taken off with a self-led interest in drawing. So let's move on to the resources. Our spine for this study is Farm Anatomy by Julia Rothman. This is where I've gathered the inspiration and ideas for the goals and topics of this study. So I hope that this gives you more of an idea of how I utilize a book to create a study. I've tapped off the corresponding pages. We're using these chicken terms in our vocabulary work and anatomy, and just more information on a farm chicken life. This is the page on tying knots that inspired that family badge project attainment. And then the same idea with farm sheep life, vocabulary words in these sheep terms, and the anatomy of a sheep, and their different roles in a farm life. I want my children to put the connections together of where we get our supplies for fiber arts, like our wool felt and our wool roving. And then there's an entire chapter for our cooking goals. So again, I'm still not sure if this is the notebook that we'll use for vocabulary, but so far that is what we have. This is a Dover coloring book on old-fashioned farm life. We enjoy reading the information on the topic of each illustration, and then my kids just enjoy the coloring portion. So as an opening activity, the kids enjoy coloring, and then also we will learn how to draw farm animals. In pursuing their interest of drawing, they have become really good at being able to follow these how to draw books and how to draw videos or tutorials on YouTube. And then we also have this Nat Geo sticker activity book on the farm, which is also great for opening activities. Two picture books here, Sonia's Chicken, which depicts so beautifully on a relationship and the role of raising chickens, and Sleep Tight Farm. In this book, we explore a farm family's preparation process for winter. I love the lyrical text and beautiful illustrations that take us through the seasons on the farm. I've also prepared or pulled out a few printables. These are fall themed cards. So the first here that we have are fall themed counting cards by Hearth Magic for my youngest Luna to work on numeracy. This is a matching activity of these famous farm paintings, and so Luna will match the zoomed in piece of the painting to the full image of the painting. I've had these for years. I don't know where I got this printable from, but I promise you I'm going to try my best to find it and link it for you in the description box. For our math portion, we'll be working on Farm Math by Hearth Magic during this study. I'll modify the suggestions of different math skills for Bella, age 9, Noah, age 8, and Luna, age 5. So for example, we have counting songs for Luna. All three will work on the quality of number cards, but modified for each one. So Luna will focus on 1-to-1. For Noah, we'll focus on addition and subtraction, and multiplication and division for Bella. There's also money review for everyone, and we did that last time by creating and playing Farmer's Market, and so we'll do that again. I'm already working on skip counting with Noah, so this movement activity suggestion fits perfectly. Telling time review, place value, measurements, and word problems too. Amber has also included math board game recommendations to pair with this guide, so we might look into one of those as well. Also from Hearth Magic is a life cycle of a chicken set, which will pair with Farm Anatomy by Julia Rothman, and especially utilizing the copywork pages for handwriting. Alright, let's jump into our read aloud and independent readers for the season. Esperanza Rising will be a shared reader between Bella and I. And this is about a young girl and her family who have to migrate and settle in a Mexican farm labor during the Great Depression. We're going to pick up where we left off on the little house in the big woods. I admitted in a previous video that my kids were bored with this last year, so we'll give it another try now that they are a year older. Bella is still reading through Pippi in the South Seas as a reader, and Noah is moving on to the second chapter book reader in this Good and the Beautiful Luke and Lily of the Lighthouse set. The next one is Lily's Pumpkin, which is fitting for the season. This story, Lily's grandmother promises her that if she cares for her pumpkin seeds wisely, they will bring her joy. And he'll be reading out loud to his little sister, Little Bear, and this is just a classic that we love in our home. Games for opening activities are Treehouse Town, a grammar game, which will tie in with our Grammar Farm project. This game is done by The Good and the Beautiful, and it reads, this exciting game helps children identify 4 basic parts of speech: common nouns, proper nouns, adjectives, and verbs. I like that it's simple. Each round isn't longer than about 10 minutes, and all the lovely illustrations inspired by nature. There are actually 48 beautiful cards to reinforce grammar in a fun way. And Match a Leaf, a Tree memory game by Lawrence King Publishing. So we're matching the leaf or branch to its respective tree. I've mentioned time and time again that the best part about these Lawrence King Publishing games, well, besides the illustrations, is the booklet with educational info about each subject matter. In this game, it's about each tree. And of course, throughout the season, we'll be reaching for our favorite autumn-inspired and holiday books. I'll link a video if you want to see a flip through of our favorite fall books. So I thought I'd also share a few of the details and more resources on our autumn shelf. These beautiful mushroom ID cards that I've displayed as a banner are by Hearth Magic, and they're part of the Beatrix Potter Hero Set. We keep a basket hung here with our beeswax candles, always available for us to burn throughout the day, along with our wooden calendar by Treasures from Jennifer. Our large wooden loom is by Melissa and Doug, and that's for a weaving block. And these lovely autumn bucket list cards are also found in the Hearth Magic Etsy shop. This basket holds some of our loose parts and little manipulatives that we'll use for various math activities, along with some pumpkin projects from years past. I'll post a card for those handicraft videos. And the Naturalist family badges we're aiming to earn next. This is a nutcracker we use a lot during the season for acorns and walnuts. Here we have a poem that I am reading right now and a beeswax block for embroidery. I also used some of these blocks to make our seashell tea light candles, the perfect way to honor our unique Florida autumn. More handmade manipulatives, these are wool acorns. I'm keeping all of our cards and those types of resources organized in a basket. These cards are form drawing cards by Hearth Magic. The Julia Rothman collection includes these adorable little posters, and these are wooden puzzles for anatomy of different subjects. We have several that we'll put together for our anatomy studies. This beautiful Bolga basket is our handicraft basket for all the fiber arts projects we have planned this season: embroidery, weaving, nature pouches, and to make the Grammar Farm mat. So we have thread, yarn, felt, roving, and other tools. And also a bin to hold our microscope and magnifying lenses, and this is for dissecting and observing our nature finds. Alright friends, that wraps up today's video. I'd also love to know what your plans are for the fall season, so if you'd like to share with us in the comment section down below. And as usual, I will link as much as I possibly can in the description box of this video. Be on the lookout for videos this season on our projects and on our studies, especially my day in the life videos. I tend to show glimpses of our studies in those types of videos. So make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out the notification for those videos, and also follow us on Instagram. I post a lot of our daily work over on that platform. In our home, I like to think and say that autumn is the season of the soul, and so I pray that yours is showered with wonder, coziness, and love.